So yeah, let's start this webinar. So first off, thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. We're super pumped because this is a very popular webinar. Lots of people have registered. Obviously, you can see in the chat, people are coming from all over. So we're really happy to see that. And a lot of people that will be joining us in September. So wonderful to see. Great that you guys are taking this opportunity to connect with us and ask your questions before you start in September. So awesome job. As you may know, this is the Navigating Northern webinar series, which we've designed really to help you guys get the answers to questions about things that you need to know. So as you may have guessed, today is Veterinary Sciences. Woo! One of my personal favorites, obviously, animal lover here. So we got a lot of great people on the panelist list here today, and we will do introductions in a little bit, but I'm just going to give you kind of a layout of what this is going to look like. So what we'll do is we'll start with the introductions from everyone, and then we will move to a interview portion. So what the recruiters have done here is we've created a list of questions which we get asked quite a bit as recruiters, as well as questions about things that we thought you guys need to know. If there is anything that you're still needing answers to, please feel free to pop those down into the chat below, and we will have a Q&A session at the end, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. So everybody knows how to use the chat. We saw all those answers coming in, so we feel comfortable with that. That's where those will be. Hope, my beautiful co-host, will be checking those out and making sure that everybody's voice is heard. So again, pop those down there. As you can see in the top left-hand corner, I'm really bad with rights and lefts, but I think I got that correct. In the top left corner, this is being recorded. And the reason that we're doing that is for this to be available later on the website for those of you that maybe didn't get the chance to be here with us tonight, but this will be available on our website. Lots and lots of important info is being shared, so we don't want it to just evaporate. We want it to be there. So that's where it'll be. Okay, let's begin. So I'm going to start. I'll introduce myself, and then Hope, if you'd like to introduce yourself. So my name is Kara. Maybe you've seen me before, maybe you haven't. I'm quite often on Navigating Northern. I'm also the girl that's in a kayak in our view book, and maybe you've seen me drive around in my bright orange vehicle in Southern Ontario. I am the Southern Ontario recruiter for Northern. I've been here 3 years. Normally I'm in high schools or at community events, or I don't know, normally I'm out there, but this year's been a little bit different. So here we are. Welcome, glad to have you. Hope?
Awesome. So I'm Hope Kuzis. I'm the new Indigenous recruiter and pathways navigator at Northern College.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so we will do intros with our panelists here. I'm just gonna go in the order that I see on my screen. So Patricia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Virtual Northern College. My name is Patricia Hamilton. I'm a professor in the Veterinary Technician program. I've been here for a considerable number of years. I'm a medical lab tech, but also I have a master's of education. Welcome, and I look forward to seeing everybody in September. It's really fun.
Thank you, Patricia. Okay, Amanda.
Hi, my name's Amanda Godden. I have been here for a little while as well too, and I teach in both the Veterinary Sciences Vectech program and in the Wildlife Rehab program as well.
Awesome, thank you, Amanda. Leanne, with the amazing shoe collection in the background, I might add.
My background wouldn't work. So, I'm Leanne Smith. I am a professor in the Veterinary Sciences, so I actually teach in the Veterinary Technician program, sometimes in the Veterinary Assistant program. I'm also the program coordinator, and the lovely people that are with us were my teachers as well. So Northern College was my college before I became a professor here. So that's how awesome Northern College is.
Full circle, I love it. Okay, and it says your name is Franks J. Sorry,
It's Jennifer.
Jennifer. Sorry. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer or Jen. I'm a groomer and I teach in the animal grooming program. I've been at Northern for quite a while as well. And I'm the one that teaches you how to do all of the styles and learn how to clip cats and yeah.
Which is a feat of its own because I tried to bring my cat one time and they came out in armor. So good for you. What you do, that's amazing. Okay, Nancy. Nancy, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nancy Goudreau. I'm a registered veterinary technologist. I've been a RVT for 23 years. I've been at the college for 13 years, but not as long as Pat, Amanda, or Jen. I teach in the Veterinary Technician program, and I also teach in the Animal Grooming Veterinary Assistant program.
Amazing, thank you. Okay, so now that you know who we all are and what we're doing, let's get into the Q&A portion. So the first set of questions are going to be for Leanne. So can you give us an overview of the veterinary sciences programming that Northern College offers?
Sure. So what I'll actually do is I'm going to share my screen. It kind of gives a little bit of a nicer chart while I talk through this. So can everyone see that? Yes. Thank you. So in the School of Veterinary Sciences, there are 5 programs. We have the Animal Grooming program, the Veterinary Assistant program, the Veterinary Technician, then our 2 third-year programs are the Veterinary Technologist, Wildlife Rehabilitation, and the Companion Animal Physical Rehabilitation program. So it has this nice little chart here.
Love it. Okay. Could you talk more about the Haileybury Campus and the local community?
So the Haileybury Campus is situated in Northern Ontario and is part of the Temiskaming Shores community. So Temiskaming Shores has an approximate population of 10,000 people with all the amenities of the city, just without any traffic. It's very nice here. Then we have the Veterinary Science Center that's located beside the main campus, and that's where all your practical classes take place and also where our animal colony is housed.
Amazing. So that leads me into my next question. Can you tell us more about this dedicated vet science building?
So the Veterinary Science Center is a state-of-the-art facility featuring specialty rooms and equipment such as our surgery, dental, and radiology suites, an animal grooming area, a microbiology lab, and then of course our underwater treadmill is a big hit as well.
So this isn't a question that we have in our Q&A, but it's something that just came into my head here. You mentioned that we have a colony of animals that live on campus. Can you tell us what kind of animals we have?
Sure. So it ranges from, we have cats and dogs that live mainly on campus, and that's the ones we take care of most. Then we have specialty programs where we bring in lab animals. So we have guinea pigs, rabbits, mice, rats, things like that. And then we also bring in some wildlife sometimes. So we'll have snakes. I believe we tried geckos one year as well. So that comes in. And so we have a variety of animals that do come in depending on which course you're taking. Some courses we bring in some chickens once in a while, and then they come in. So you do get exposed to a lot of different animals, but we mainly house our cats and dogs as our regular colony.
Amazing. Just to follow up, because it's a question that I get asked quite a bit as a recruiter. Do students ever get the opportunity to work with large animals?
Yes, they do. So we don't house the large animals on site, but we do have farm visits. So we do a couple of them throughout the year. So you learn actually how to take care of these animals, how to give them vaccines, how to dehorn them. We do pregnancy checks on them. So you actually go into the field and we go to different farms. So we go to a horse farm, a cow farm, a couple in between, and you'll actually get to work on those animals on those farms.
Amazing. Thanks, Leanne. Okay, so the next question is one that I think most people are wondering. With COVID, what the heck is this fall going to look like?
Yes, so obviously at this time we can't say exactly what's going to happen. It could change at any moment. but we really enjoy what we're doing right now. It's worked really well. So this is called a hybrid delivery system. So we're delivering anything we can that's theory-based online, and then all of our practical face-to-face courses are on campus. And they actually work hand in hand with each other. So you won't only just have theory or only practical, it will be mixed in together.
Okay, thank you. Now, last question for this first little segment here. What is the student life, residence life, and recreational opportunities?
Sure. So Northern College offers a residence on campus for students. So the residence actually has about 16 townhouse style apartments. And then each apartment has 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and a living area. And many students also find housing or residence within our communities, especially as they continue to form those lifelong friendships and they get closer and closer. They have special bonds. They tend to live outside of the residence at that time. And then Haileybury also offers students the ability to relax and enjoy local entertainment at our restaurants. We have a bowling alley, we have a curling club, the golf course is down the street, we have an arts and crafts studio, we have a wellness clinic, a pharmacy, and so much more, but it's all within walking distance. So Haileybury, it may look small, but we actually do have a lot of stuff around us.
Amazing, thank you. I just wanted to follow up that the residence that is on campus, I've counted, it's less than 100 steps from the front door of the campus. So if you're looking to live right there, it is literally right there. And then the next thing is, it is a beautiful residence. It is gorgeous. It is like, feels brand new in there. It's really, really spacious. And another thing is, like I said, you'll be right on campus, and it's partially furnished as well, which is really helpful. So there is a virtual tour available online if you are interested in looking. I did want to mention as well, and I will probably talk about this a few times throughout tonight, we do have our spring virtual open house that's happening on April 8th. From 6 until 9 p.m. and the resident staff will be there if you do have any questions at all about that. So please join in on that. Okay, so now for our next segment. The first question is restate your first name, introduce the program, how long it is, and what credential you would earn. So we'll start with Jennifer.
Hey, so I teach in the animal grooming program. It's a 1-year certificate, and you have the option in this one to do the dual certificate program. So you can come out and you'd have 2 certificates in the veterinary assistant and the animal grooming program. So we are the only college that offers that, and it's I think it's a great advantage because you graduate and you have the 2 certificates, and it opens so many more doors for you.
So can you just reiterate for us, Jennifer, so in the same amount of time that it would have taken to take 1 program, you can have 2 credentials?
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, it's a no-brainer then. That's amazing.
I know. Yeah, yeah, it's a really good opportunity, and I really encourage anybody that's coming to the college and is deciding to either do the grooming or the veterinary assistant to consider it, because it's a really good thing to have in your back pocket. You'll always get a job somewhere with it.
Definitely. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
So Jen kind of hit on the animal grooming program. So I'll talk a little bit about the veterinary assistant program. So it, again, is a 1-year, same thing like Jen said, you can take the 2 concurrently and get both certificates. So you can run through it together. I'll also talk about our companion animal rehabilitation program. So that program is a certificate as well. It is a 1-year program, and that is specifically for veterinary technicians to help advance them in their career. And they'll be able to work on animals and help basically do physical rehabilitation with those animals.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so next is Patricia. Which program are you representing? And let us know the length of it, what credential you'll get, and obviously introduce yourself again.
Okay, hello everyone. Yes, it's Patricia here, and I'm going to talk about the Veterinary Technician program. This program will last 2 academic years or 4 semesters that you'll be with us. You will be considered VT, you can write VT after your name when you're done, but we encourage you to go ahead and to write your registration exam with the OAVT and become a registered veterinary technician. We offer 2 courses in our second year to help you to do that, to help to prepare you for that registration. And so we certainly do encourage that. And that's what we have, yeah.
Thank you, Patricia. Now, lastly, Amanda with wildlife.
Hello, I'm Amanda Godden. So the Wildlife Rehab program is a 1-year program, but you have to take the 2 years of veterinary technician first. So you could either do it at another college or preferably Northern College, do your first 2 years there, and then continue on for the 1 year of the Wildlife Rehab program. It's a diploma program, so you actually finish as a veterinary technologist. So they do the first 2 years, they become a veterinary technician, and then they specialize in that 3rd year and become a veterinary technologist at the end.
Amazing. Thank you, Amanda. Okay, so we'll go through that little rotation again with my next question. So why would someone want to do the work that this qualifies you to do, and what kind of jobs would a graduate expect?
Okay. Well, grooming is it's kind of an artsy type of a job. You know, you're creating all of these styles on the dogs, and it's also, I always encourage the students that we're the eyes for these dogs between the owners and the vets. So we see these dogs every 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. So we get to know these dogs very well. And so we see, you know, skin problems, coat problems, and we can help. If we notice something, we can address that to the customer, and then they can have the pet looked at by the vet. It's a great way to work with animals if you're nervous, you know, to do the surgery part, but you still want to interact with them. It's a great career that way. You can, with this, when you leave Northern, you can either open your own business, or you can work for other groomers, and or if you do the dual certificate program, you can work in a clinic, so, and be a groomer. So there's many options with this certificate.
Amazing. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
I just noticed the chat is blowing up. We will get to your questions soon. We're almost through the Q&A portion. Keep the questions coming, and don't worry, don't fret. We will answer them in a bit. So next in my little lineup here is Leanne. So do you want me to repeat the question?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, perfect.
So again, I'll talk about the Companion Animal Physical Rehabilitation Program. So that is based around actually rehabilitating animals to allow them to live their life to the fullest. So that could mean recovery from an injury. That could mean helping the animal lose weight. It could mean increasing their muscle mass or their strength for agility courses. So they don't even have to be injured. So companion animal rehabilitation can actually do a number of things. And it is a fast growing new field that's kind of come up in veterinary medicine. So we are proud to actually offer that program to our students, and we're one of the only ones in Ontario, I believe, also in Canada, to offer this. So it's a really great opportunity. And what you can get from it is you can actually work in your own practice after you have, once you've done your veterinary technician, then you can come in and do your companion animal physical rehabilitation. And you can actually have your own practice rehabilitating animals, and you'll get referrals from other veterinarians to do so. You can also work in a clinic, helping just those surgery cases, make sure that they do go home happy and healthy, and that there are rechecks involved, and that you ensure that those animals are being taken care of appropriately and are recovering very, very nicely, or as best as they can. You can also work for sales companies if you wanted as well, so you have a little bit more information, a little more knowledge, especially around the pain receptors and how muscles and nerves work. So you get a little bit more detail about that. We have a lot of hands-on, which will help with that. basically you can do a lot of things. There's so much when it comes to rehab. Yeah. I could talk for hours on rehabilitation, so I will stop. And then if anyone else has questions, again, feel free to ask.
Love it. Thank you, Leanne. Okay, next is Patricia.
So you'll graduate after 2 years with a diploma from Northern, and that opens just so many doors for you. There's just so many to count. A lot of our students will enter into a clinic or a veterinary hospital. We have our graduates working in veterinary hospitals and clinics all across the country, doing a variety of different roles. More often than not, we find around second year, students will develop an additional interest in one particular area of study. Say maybe it's radiology, or maybe it's dentistry, or maybe it's surgery, or lab animal or something. And then they'll expand their knowledge through their professional or organization to be a specialist in that area if they choose to do so. They may not, and that's perfectly fine as well. We found some of our graduates like to work in research in larger facilities at universities of Guelph and hospitals and other places like that. And that's perfectly fine. Some of our folks come back to see us from time to time because they get into sales and they visit us in this area, which is amazing too. And yes, some of our graduates come back and they teach with us from time to time, which is really wonderful. It's always exciting when I see one of my students come back. So that's a really great thing. But just to answer a couple of little questions that are coming up in the chat that I can see. Yes, if you want to enter into the companion animal rehab program, you do need to enter as a graduate veterinary technician from Northern or an accredited college as well. That's come up a couple times, so I thought I'd address that straight away. Yeah, so we're sort of opening the door to anywhere else you might want to go. So if there's specific questions, I can answer that maybe perhaps later on.
Thank you, Patricia. And just to reiterate, she is speaking to the Vectech program, the 2-year diploma. So next in our lineup is Amanda with wildlife once again.
Hello. So just to speak about the wildlife program, just to follow along with what Pat said as well, with the wildlife program, you have to be a 2-year graduate from the Veterinary Technician program, either from Northern College or from another college as well. And with wildlife rehab, this program actually opens quite a few doors as well too. So not just even on the wildlife rehab side of things, whether you want to pursue a career as a wildlife custodian or even just a foster caregiver, we also touch on captive animals as well. So we've had a lot of students that have ended up working in zoos. They've even gone in different directions as working for pest control agencies, reptile facilities, working with educational animals, educational wild animals, I should say. There's various different options. Even if students don't want to pursue those different career options, focus mainly on wildlife, even in a regular veterinary clinic, we always have wildlife coming in. And most of the time, we don't have anybody in those clinics that really have any kind of experience working with these animals. So taking the program actually gives you that experience, and we're considered, I guess, the expertise, I guess, per se, in the clinic when these animals come in. So it just gives you another little leg up there as well.
Amazing, thank you. And I will say we actually have a student, I believe she's here with us tonight, who will be coming to Northern in September. And she is retired, and this is a complete passion project for her. She's going to be taking our wildlife rehab program and traveling the world helping animals all over. So that's another really cool option. And hi, Cindy, if you're here. Okay, so next question. Why would someone choose Northern to study these programs? Obviously, I know we're amazing. We're the best. You can see our faculty here. They're amazing as well. But why us? And this is for Patricia.
Well, I think that the expertise that our accumulated group offers the student is second to none, obviously. We have our dedicated facility that allows the students much opportunity for hands-on, participating, with surgery, doing lab work, doing grooming, and so on, seeing the housing, doing the bonding with your friends because you're up there first thing in the morning and you're doing your kennel duty and helping out and that sort of thing. Ours is a small community up here. We get to know each other. There's a tremendous amount of support. Your teachers are going to know who you are, what your names are, how you're feeling. And that is wonderful, I think, in that it helps people to adapt into their new environment and take on their new challenges. We have an additional support team to our teaching as well here at Northern. So if some other concern may arise for a student, we have a team of people working right next door, immediately next door in the building that you can either get in touch with virtually or if COVID allows in person, and they can support you with your ventures and they can help you out. Many of our businesses in our area, our particular area, are looking forward to the return of our students in September because many of our businesses will hire our students. And so if you're looking for some additional assistance financially and you'd like a little part-time job, our employers are used to that. They know that students come for that academic year and then they leave and go back home for a bit and come back. And that's wonderful. The other thing I'll tell you is that many of our graduates have started in one particular program and loved it so much that they've taken additional programs. I know several people personally that have spent at least, 4 programs under their belt. They're going to come in as a vet tech and then they're fall in love with grooming. Well, who wouldn't, right? So you're going to take grooming. And if you're going to take grooming, you might as well take vet assistant at the same time because, right, it's a double certificate, right? Get it done, hang it on the wall. It's beautiful. And then you say, oh, wildlife rehab. Well, of course, we're in the north. This is amazing. So stay for that. And companion animal, who wouldn't love to get a massage? Learn how to do this hands-on. Amazing place, folks. Just absolutely the best place to come to school.
Yes, and to add on to what Patricia said, I've heard that time and time again, like the students will start one program and next thing you know, they've taken every single veterinary science program that we have because they love it so much. So yes, I have heard of that as well. So thank you. Does anyone want to add anything to that or am I okay to move to the next question? She covered everything really, but anything? Okay, perfect. So my next question is for Leanne, and it's more about the admissions side. So what are the general admission requirements for students who have not yet applied? And then for the Vectech and wildlife programs, is it competitive? Would it benefit to apply early? And tell us more about the work or volunteer hours that are needed as part of the admissions requirements.
Long. So basically every one of our programs have a different number of admission requirements. So the animal grooming program, you are required to have a secondary school diploma. And in that, you also need your grade 12 English, college or university or equivalent, but it has to be a 60% or above. And this continues on for all of our programs. So then we get into the veterinary assistant program, again, secondary school diploma, grade 12 English, but then we add on the grade 11 biology. So again, college or university with a 60% minimum. Then when we get into our vet tech program, we're adding more into that. So these are, the vet tech program is a very competitive program. Same with our wildlife rehabilitation. So this is more advanced. And so we do have our secondary school diploma, and that must include grade 12 English, grade 12 math, grade 12 chemistry, and grade 11 biology, again, college or university with a 60% minimum. Now the wildlife and the companion animal physical rehabilitation programs, you may have heard us talk a little bit about that as well throughout, that you do need a veterinary technician diploma to take these third-year programs. So if you take that with us, that's great. It actually works in your favor to do so. We only actually have a small number of seats set aside for students who take the Vectech program at a different college. And also I feel it benefits students more to take it at our college. You get to know, like Pat was saying, you get to know our professors on a one-on-one basis, you get into the community, and you spend a few years here and then you end up loving it. And so you do stay for much longer. So those programs are highly competitive and you want to apply early for that. The Veterinary Technician program does, and the Veterinary Assistant program, or basically all programs really, when you look at it, it's not a mandatory situation, but we are requesting that students just work or volunteer at a veterinary clinic, just so you can get an idea of what each role is in the clinic and how you feel and what you would like to do. It just helps you pick your path if you are unsure. So we do ask that you have some volunteer hours, but at this time it is not a requirement.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And one thing to note as well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Leanne, but we do not do grade differentials for the programming. So meaning, you know, if you took U level, that would carry more weight versus the mixed level or C level credits in high school.
Correct. Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Okay. Awesome. And then one other thing I wanted to add, if you were like, oh, you know what, I really want to take vet tech, but I don't have, you know, my chemistry. We offer academic upgrading as well at Northern, and we have done a webinar on this. So where you registered for this session, there should be a link there and you can listen to that. It is government funded, I believe. It's 100% pretty much free to you. So if you're like, oh, I really need that chemistry, we can definitely help you out with that and get you on your way to into that program. So check that out as well. Thank you, Leanne.
No problem.
I believe the next question might be for you as well. Let me just double check here. Okay, it's for most of you. So can you paint a picture for our viewers of what a typical day in class looks like for your program? So we'll start with you, Jennifer.
Okay, so we groom dogs mainly from the public. So they will bring in their dogs. They do need to be up to date on all of their vaccines, and they come in, and I assign the dogs either to one groomer or to a pair, and then you groom the dogs and you focus on that dog for that one day. And I run it basically like a business. So you interact with the clients and you groom the dog and you bring the dog back to the owner. We do groom cats. So you'll learn how to do the lion clip. And I have a fun day, usually creative grooming day, where you're going to be touching on colors and blow pens and that. And it's just a little thing to accent in your salon if you get into grooming. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
To you.
So for the companion animal physical rehabilitation program, there's a lot that goes on, to be honest. The most exciting part of the day, I would say, is when you actually do the same thing as Jen does. So we work on animals in the public that actually have been referred to us, and you work through their, let's say they have a sore leg. And so when they come in, we're going to help them with that sore leg. And you actually, as the student, will do the same thing. You'll go and you'll speak with the client. You'll talk about, you know, any concerns or how things have been at home. And then you'll come in, you'll do a rehabilitation program with them. You do some exercises. Maybe you might massage them a little bit, put them in the underwater treadmill for a bit. And then we'll send them home and you tell the client that this is what they need to do at home, and then they come back next week or in another day or so, and you'll actually stay with that client for the entire time, which is really nice, or at least until they start to feel better and can do that on their own. So you do work more one-on-one with those clients and create that bond, and that's usually what technicians like to see. We like to see that bond and that actual animal getting better, and you helped make that better. So
it made a difference.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you, Leanne. Patricia.
Well, your typical day is going to change day to day from throughout the week. You may start your day really early in the morning with a little bit of kennel duty with your team. So there'll be a group of you come in, you'll care for the animals, walk the dogs and clean the cats and feed everybody and do that great morning stuff that makes us all feel wonderful as pet owners for sure. Your theory will be online, and that's going to be from your home, which hopefully is not too far away from our college. We will give you that time to get home, to jump on to class and to visit with us, and that's tremendous. If it's your day to be here in the veterinary science building, you might start with a couple hours in clinical exercises class, learning to care for the animals, do physical exams, maybe draw some blood, do some injections, whatever happens, clean some ears, a whole gamut of things to do. Then you might spend a couple hours in lab procedures and techniques, and I will see you over there. There's a couple of us that teach the practical hands-on portion of the class, and we're excited to have you come and do that. There might be a bit of necropsy in your day, so it depends on how things sort of roll out for you. But no matter what, we have some wonderful challenges for you, be it in person or virtually.
Sounds action-packed. I love it. Okay, Amanda.
So unlike the other programs, unfortunately, we don't have our own animals on site. There are different rules and regulations that we have to follow regarding the wildlife. So how your day could actually vary from day to day. You can be in class learning some theory, followed by your practical classes where we have cadavers, where you can learn how to do turtle shell repairs, learn where to take blood to different sites, how to do physicals, how to actually even properly restrain these animals, as it is quite different than restraining a domestic like a dog or a cat. We do also have some different places that we visit, as well as they come to our facility as well and bring their birds of prey. So the students actually get to handle the birds of prey, learn how to weigh them, fly them, do physicals, how to handle them all properly and stuff as well too. So we also actually have a really good working relationship with our Ministry of Natural Resources. So if they have a potential case, a lot of times too, they will get us involved and we will help them with that as well. So whether it be doing x-rays for them, trying to find a bullet or whatnot, if it's a poaching case, to even helping them with necropsies and stuff like that. So it varies as well too.
So for those of us that aren't in the field, what is a necropsy?
Necropsy is like an autopsy. We just call it necropsy when it comes to animals. So we cut them open and try and find out what happened to them and stuff like that.
Amazing. Okay, thank you. So my next question is for Leanne, and it's in regards to the materials and the tools, and it's about the vaccine that apparently is a big thing. So let's talk about that.
So first off, most students in all of our programs as a general need to have will be a pair of scrubs. A stethoscope would be great to have, a watch. Basically, you're going to need a watch to count seconds. You're listening to the heart and you want to find out how many beats the heart are doing in a minute, and same with their breathing. You want to listen to those lungs, hear if there's any concerns with that. You'll also need a thermometer to take everyone's temperature. In the animal grooming program, you do need to purchase a grooming kit. So this kit will have everything that you need for your grooming class, and also will be used for when you're finishing the grooming program. You'll have everything you need to start up your business. Okay, so it will travel with you from the start and then continue on. And then the infamous rabies vaccine. So we work closely with species who have the potential to carry the rabies virus. So we require that all students have the rabies vaccine. It is a pre-exposure vaccine, and it needs to be given in 3 doses, and it has to be done before you arrive in September. So we actually require proof of the rabies vaccine in August to make sure that everyone is in good tip-top shape and that we can handle all of these animals that do come into our colony. Because again, we don't know all of the vaccine status, that there's a lot of shelter animals that enter. So we want to make sure that everyone is protected for that rabies virus.
Totally makes sense. So someone would just go to their doctor's office and just ask for the rabies vaccine.
That's correct. Most of them know what it is. So you just say, I work with animals. I'm going to need my pre-exposure rabies vaccine, and then they will give you a prescription for it. And you go to the pharmacy, you fill it, and then you bring it to your doctor to be injected, or you can bring it to your local health unit, or sometimes the Life Labs and things like that will give it as well. So usually up here, it's our local health unit.
Amazing. Okay, well, that concludes the Q&A portion of this. Big sigh of relief. The questions are done. Now we can move, well, actually there's more questions, I joked. We have 50 messages in our chat here. So Hope, what is happening? What is going on in this chat?
It is going well. Doug is on point.
As usual.
So, oh yes. So I've categorized all the questions based on the attendees. So we're going to start off with Lori. One of the questions is, what textbooks would you recommend to read over the summer? I'm sure that's a general question for each program.
Sure, if anybody wanted to answer that, just unmute yourselves and we'll just kind of do it open like that.
I can answer basically. There definitely are different textbooks for each program. You want to find out for the animal grooming program, that would be a gen question. I believe the best thing to do would be to email us, or I believe our website has more information on that. So there's a ton of books that veterinary technicians can look into. We do have books. There is a Bible that we call, the students kind of love to say. And it is the clinical textbook for veterinary technicians, it's called. And it's this big, huge blue book, and we literally carry it around our entire lives. I still use it to this day. So there's definitely a lot of things that you will need. I wouldn't worry too much right now. You will get your book list when you are registered and you pay your deposit. You'll get all that information early, so you'll already have an idea of what books you need to purchase. And then you'll also be taught and resourced to those books throughout your semesters here. So,
yeah, as Leanne said, keep an eye out for the book list. It will be sent out. Do not fret. Enjoy some of your summer. Okay, you just sit there and read a big textbook this big. Okay, great. Next question there, Hope.
The next question is, in the wildlife rehabilitation program, what are some of the animals that are worked within the program? I believe that was already mentioned, but just in case, if you want to do a little recap briefly.
Yeah, I can recap on that. So we do have, like I said, a lot of cadavers because there are rules and regulations around us. Obviously, we can't take animals from the wild and do stuff with them. So there are rules and regulations that we have to follow. So we do have a lot of cadavers that we do a lot of work with. We also, though, do bring in birds of prey that the students get to handle as well. There's reptiles that they get to handle. We also have people bring in their waterfowl and chickens that the students get to take blood and stuff on, which a bird is a bird. So whether it's a chicken or a pigeon, they all still have the same blood vessels and stuff. So they get to take blood and stuff from those guys as well. So there's actually a variety. We'll get animals that come in for wildlife rehab too, just for, we don't specifically do, so I should mention that right now. We don't specifically do wildlife rehab at the school. But a couple of us actually, like I said, do work with the ministry. So we do get animals that, or have a good working relationship, I should say, with the ministry. So we will get these animals that do come in, and we will triage them and do different things to them beforehand as well too. So it could really be anything from a little songbird. We've had bald eagles come in, even like I said, we've had like black bears and that as well that have come in that we've either as cadavers, or really we've transported them into the parking lot and switched them over into the bear rehabbers caging and stuff like that. So it really kind of varies from year to year. But most definitely a lot of birds of prey and reptiles for sure.
Awesome. So there's a couple questions from Sydney. I hope I said that right.
Cindy.
Yes. Thank you, Karis. She has a couple questions. The first one is, what percentage is on campus versus online?
That's going to vary a little bit depending on the semester that you're in. So I can't tell you exactly the percentages, haven't figured that bit out, but early on in our program, semester 1 for veterinary technician and assistant, I believe, so the other folks can jump in here. There's a little bit more online virtually, and then as you put some information behind you, and we prepare you then for your hands-on activity as you move along in your semesters, then your hands-on activity will increase. And when you hit semester 4, I think you feel like you live in our facility here. And I'm going to jump over to Jen, because I think that the students do an awful lot of time doing hands-on and grooming with Jen. They do amazing things down the hall.
Thanks. It's we just deal with dogs and cats, and we have had the odd time where we've groomed guinea pigs, just to say someone's brought in a guinea pig. But you get a lot of hands-on in the grooming program for sure. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So the next question is, can you combine wildlife with the rehab program in 3rd year and get both?
I can answer that. So they're speaking about the wildlife rehabilitation and the companion animal physical rehabilitation. Yes. So no, you cannot. And that's because both programs are have a lot of information. You couldn't. There's not enough time in the day to learn both programs. They really are unique programs. They need to be done individually. So you really should spend a full year with wildlife rehabilitation and then a full year doing companion animal. You would just be here overnight if that was the case. Too much.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. So the next question is, do you assist students to write the M&R test for wildlife rehabilitation program?
I will answer that. Yes, we do. We actually teach towards the Ontario Wildlife Rehabilitation exam, as well as the Certified Rehabilitation exam as well. So yes, we do work with the ministry as well too, if the students are interested in becoming either a wildlife custodian or a foster caregiver. There's a little bit of a difference between those two, and I'll just kind of briefly explain it right now for the people that have questions. But a wildlife custodian is the person that holds the license, the overall license for their facility, and a foster caregiver, my apologies, they are somebody that has just decided, I just want to help look after these animals. I don't want to be responsible for the whole facility and everything. that goes with it. So you have to write that exam, that Ontario Wildlife Rehabilitation exam, to become one or the other. So yes, we do teach towards that, and we will help the students in pursuing whichever path they would like to take there as well.
Awesome. So before I go on to the next question, I see Jennifer had asked a question. What services are available for Indigenous students? You are welcome to connect with me since I am the Indigenous recruiter. I've put my email in the chat box for you. So yeah, moving on to the next question. Hopefully that helped you, Jennifer. This question is stating, sorry, hold on. There's so many questions. Will you still have to take the 2-year Vectech program after taking the Vet Assistance program for wildlife rehabilitation?
So, Pat, are you going to? I can, okay. I just want to fully understand the question first. So are you asking, is it asking that if you take the veterinary assistant program, you can jump right into wildlife? Or are you asking if you take the veterinary technician program, do you have to take the assistant and then jump into wildlife?
That's what you're asking, because Patricia said that some people will take the tech and then go take the assistant. So I think maybe they're, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. So the first year, if you were to come in, you can come in as a veterinary technician. That is not a problem. And then you can move into your second year as a veterinary technician. And then like Pat was saying, a lot of people who do take this path end up realizing that we watch those animals in grooming come out in just beautiful colors and these wonderful new haircuts and everything, and you get so excited about it that you're like, I want to do that. So we definitely have people who go from the second year, they finish and they decide they actually do want to do animal grooming. And like Pat said, you can also take the veterinary assistant program, because we've actually formulated the two to run concurrently. So you can actually have a certificate in animal grooming and veterinary assistant. Most people who take the veterinary technician program don't take the assistant program, because you get all of your education from veterinary assistant in your vet tech. So there is some differences, but mainly you will get all of that education in your vet tech. So a lot of students just come back for the animal grooming. Then once you have your technician, you can then move into your third year. So what we've had many students do that usually runs this way is they'll take their 2-year, and a lot of you, just like I've been noticing, a lot of you have actually entered into Northern College through kind of our fast track or our easy way, so to speak, where you're actually already accepted into the wildlife rehabilitation program. So you'll be taking the vet tech for your first 2 years, and then you'll head directly into the wildlife. Okay. So a lot of people take that 3-year path automatically right away. Then they'll decide, do I want to stay? Do I want to leave? Some people, again, like I said, decide to take the companion animal. Again, they see those animals come in. You hear about physical rehabilitation in your courses while you're in vet tech, and you just start to actually love the profession and love Northern College and the area, and you want to stay. So we do head into our companion animal, and then again, we come back to our animal grooming. A lot of people tend to come back for that as well. So there's multiple opportunities. We have many different opportunities for students. The main thing that I will say though is, like I said before, with those prerequisites. Okay, so you got to be cautious on those. So if you are an animal grooming or vet assistant and you want to take vet tech, you want to upgrade if you need to right away, and you can upgrade while you're taking these courses. Okay, and then same thing, so it kind of advances from there. So you do have to have your vet tech to hit these 3rd year ones. Okay.
Jennifer just, she expanded a little bit in the chat here, so I'm just gonna read that out. She's meaning if you start in the assistant program, Do you have to do the 2-year vet? Because the ultimate goal for her is to do the wildlife. So if she starts an assistant, can she just add the 1 year additional for the tech and then move to wildlife, or how would that work?
So if she's an assistant, she would have to do her assistant, then do her 2 years as a technician, and then do the wildlife.
So in total, it would be 4 years. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. So better to just go into tech if you haven't
It
chosen
is. Yes. A lot of students, like I said, a lot of students don't realize the prerequisites for Vectech, and so they do have to upgrade. So they will start as a vet assistant, then they realize, oh my God, I actually do want to be a technician, or I really want to work with wildlife. I didn't know that you offered this and that kind of stuff. So it's not uncommon for that stuff to happen. And we mention this on orientation day as well. So this will not be the only time that this comes up. You will have opportunities to go into other programs at Northern College.
Is there a bit of overlap with the vet assistant and the first year of the tech program? Like, is there some overlap, or do they have, is it all full course load for first year vet tech and second year? Yeah.
So the veterinary technician program is more in depth than the veterinary assistant program. So there is some small, maybe 1 or 2 courses that can transfer over, but they're more client relation based, computer based, things like that. Your actual knowledge on animals and anatomy and things like that, it is more in depth. So there will be new courses for you.
Perfect. Thanks, Lan. Sorry for adding more questions. Sorry, help.
I'm just trying my best to get through all the questions. So the question is, this is from Ashley. Do you need to complete vet tech program prior to the companion animal rehab program, or can you take it concurrently?
That's already been answered. You would have to take the vet tech.
Yes. So you do need your veterinary technician diploma, and you cannot take it concurrently. The veterinary technician program, again, there's so much knowledge and so much education that you need to learn. And then same with the companion animal rehabilitation program, it does need its own full year, definitely.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm just going to combine these 2 questions because they seem to go hand in hand. But do you help find placement for Vectech students or provide any guidance? Are there opportunities to volunteer with animals on campus outside of class time?
Leanne in the hot seat.
I was gonna say, does Pat want to? That's okay.
Oh.
I don't mind. So basically, the first question is, we do actually encourage students find their own placements. So we do have 2 placements throughout the vet tech program, one in first year and then also one in second year. We do ask that students find their own placements, and that's because we don't know where everyone's going to go. We have 135 students and we don't know where you live or what you want to do. A lot of students pick their placements based on what interests them. So I don't want to say I'm going to put you here when really you want to work in an emergency clinic. You don't want to be in a regular practice. So we encourage that from our students to go out and find a placement that works best for them. If they're having difficulties finding those placements, we will then definitely help. That's not a problem at all. Along with our kennel duty. So kennel duty is where you actually come in and you care for those animals that we work on every day. That runs concurrently with that, there's another little program called Enrichment. And during enrichment time is when we actually just go in and we love the animals. So you go into the kennel, you hang out with them, you rub their bellies, you give them treats, you take them for long walks, you bring a whole bunch of dogs or cats into one area and love them all up and play with everybody. It's a great time. And it's just it is a really good de-stressor, to be honest.
Sign up, please.
Yes, it's really great. You start, because these animals are with us for so long and you working closely with them, you start to create these bonds with these animals. So you do start to have your own little favorite one, and you'll get them little treats or a little toy to play with, and it creates that animal-human bond and allows you to have a little bit more fun and free time while you're at school. So yes, definitely a lot of animal hands-on.
I just wanted to add on in regards to the placement. Each of our campuses have a great resource called Employment Options. So if you are needing help with your resume, your cover letter, maybe the interview prep portion, it's a completely free service, and I would really highly suggest utilizing that to help you feel more confident in maybe your self-marketing materials. So next question.
So I see that Jennifer had a very similar question here. So this question is from Caitlin. I hope I said it right. It's with a K. I've been accepted into the vet assistance program. If I wanted to add the groomer certificate at the same time, can I do that, and how?
So you can just contact the front office, and they can guide you on how you can go about doing this. I do encourage, if you're going to do it, to do it, because we usually have a larger number of students in there. So because we only have a certain amount of dogs coming in. So if it is something that you're considering, then I would contact the front office and they can help you out.
You can also contact our admissions department as well.
Yeah.
And her name's Julie, and her email is admissions@northern.on.ca, and I'll just pop that in. Whoops, I muted myself. She would be the best person to contact about applying to that.
Awesome. So this question, I'm not too sure if any of you will be able to answer this. It's from Sam. I'm an international student. I'm supposed to join in September for the Animal Grooming program. I wanted to ask, when will the orientation before the semester starts? So I don't know if that's a Doug question. I don't know if he wants to kind of quickly type away.
I would think that would probably be the international. He's probably referring, he or she, sorry, I didn't hear it, is probably referring to the international orientation, I'm assuming. You would really need to reach out to our international department. Edna is the manager there, and I can pop the contact information in the chat.
Okay, sorry about that. There's just more questions popping in. Okay, so from the same person, you also mentioned that we can do academic upgrading. If I wanted to take biology to double major in vet assistance, will that be possible after joining?
If I'm understanding the question correctly, can you take biology in academic upgrading? Is that what we're all understanding from that? Yeah, the answer is definitely. I actually had a student contact me that's exactly the credit that she needed. What I would suggest is, again, just you have my email here. If you want to reach out to me, I can get you into contact with the appropriate academic upgrading center, and then we can work closely with them and get you started on that. So please reach out.
So the last question, well, this is not the last question I've monitored, is for the Vectech program. We need a nylon 1-inch wide dog leash, but how long is it supposed to be?
So you do need a leash, and that's to help walk the dog. So walk the kennel dogs that you'll be taking care of. A shorter leash is better, but not 2 feet, because then you can't actually walk the animal. So I believe that general leashes come in about 4 or 5 foot lengths. We definitely don't want a retractable. So that nylon leash, it does have to be a nylon leash, but there isn't any exact length or measurement. It's just a regular, you go out to the dollar store and you buy a neon leash, sorry.
Awesome. So that's all the questions I've seen, but looking in the chat box, I see that Jocelyn has a question in regards of credit transfers. My best is, I'm going to put it in the chat box for you, is to contact through email, pathways@northern.on.ca. From my understanding, since I do a bit of transfer credits, it will take 3 to 5 days to process at least. You should get a response by then.
Okay. That's it, Hope? Did we make it through the 50 messages?
Yes, I have everything in a document and I've just been highlighting them. So that's all I have.
Perfect.
Unless there's any last minute questions.
I think, Jennifer, did we address her question about student events? No?
Don't think so.
Okay,
I believe
Go ahead, sorry.
I believe the best way to get more information about student events is to go through our advising services. So let me get that information with you and you can connect with our student life advisors who work directly with our student council and our Indigenous services too.
I also suggest checking out the, if you are interested in the Haileybury campus, the NCSA is super active and I believe they have a Facebook page where a bunch of the events are posted. So if you just search, I believe it's NCSA Haileybury Campus or something like that, you can see stuff that's happening. I know they have a fun, I think it's bingo coming up or something, or a magic show or something. So yeah, lots of fun activities.
I would like to also add that as activities develop with NCSA, they will send out emails directly to all the students, just reminding you of upcoming events or points of interest or things that might be happening. So this way, nobody misses out because you'll have the information right in your inbox.
Perfect. And then I did see Doug's message in here in regards to academic upgrading. He is correct in saying that you must be a permanent resident of Ontario in order for that service to apply to you. But I would suggest checking with the international department to see if there's maybe something that can be, maybe there's a resource that you can use other than that. So. Wow, that was good. That was a lot of engagement. I feel exhausted and I didn't even really answer anything, so I can't imagine how you guys are feeling. But that's awesome. We love to see all these questions and we're so happy that you guys are super pumped to join us and you want to know more about what your future at Northern is going to look like. If there's any last minute questions, we'll wait maybe just 2 minutes here. Just pop those final questions in there, and then if not, we will conclude this webinar. So just 2 minutes. Any last minute questions? I do want to, while we wait for questions here, I do want to mention once again, we will be having a virtual open house April 8th from 6 until 9 p.m. Please register. The registration's right on our website, front banner right there. Click on there and you can register. We have a lot of fun activities that are planned, lots of prizes. Prizes will be available. Might include a MacBook Pro, might not, I don't know. Not going to tell you yet. But we also have a bursary that I'd love to chat about for a second here. It makes us pretty unique here at Northern because we are offering an entrance bursary to every single student that applies to a 2-year or 3-year or degree program, as well as our welder fitter program and our firefighting program. $1,000 automatically off of their second semester tuition. So quite a few of the programs that you heard tonight qualify for that, but you do need to register by, I want to say it's April 12th, but I could be wrong. Am I right, Hope? I believe it's April 12th. As long as you register, pay your tuition deposit, which is a $250 deposit by April 12th, you'll get $1,000 in your second semester. Who doesn't want to do that? Be on your stuff, get this $1,000. I'm just too comedic tonight. I don't know what's happening. I've had too many Cadbury Mini A's. So any more questions, Hope?
So there's another question, just looking at the Q&A section. It's from an anonymous attendee. Does Northern have a plan for this semester, the September semester, due to COVID? Is it going to be online or in person? I believe we answered that already.
I believe that was addressed, yeah.
Okay. Hold on. The next question is from Jessica. The items required for the wildlife program, are they still required time?
Sorry, it cut out like halfway between your question.
Oh no, okay. The question is for wildlife program is the items required, are they still needed during the pandemic? Does that make sense? Am I going out?
No, it's good. Yeah, who would love to answer that regarding the materials? I think it's safe to say there's still a hands-on component, so those materials will be needed either way, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, so we do still require that. If you look, there is additional requirements for the third year, and that's because you will be in the fields more often than you are if you're in the you that distance outside and that sort of stuff. So you definitely will be requiring all of those additional permits. Your big boots and jackets and hats. Sometimes it can get cold up here.
Okay, so there's a couple questions in regards of residents.
For residents, I just suggest bringing questions. I'm gonna mute you, Hope, for a second. I think I'm like echoing here. So in terms of the residents' questions, I would really suggest you bring those questions to our virtual open house. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we will have a representative from residents that will be there to answer any of those questions directly. So please bring them there. In terms, yeah, I'm seeing that those questions about cost, that can be found on our website. Please visit the Northern College website under the residents section, and it will actually break it fully down. I know there's a few payment options, different ways to pay those, and you can read all up on that on the website.
So in regards of programs, there's no other questions besides, hold on, they keep coming in. So for our first year students, what type of housing do you recommend on campus or in the community? In my opinion, especially when I was a student with Northern as a first year student, I would really recommend on campus, because not only are you closer to your classroom, it's just a jump, skip, and a hop. And plus you'll be able to make some connections with your potential roommates. So yeah.
Definitely. I would just double that or second that. As someone who did not stay in residence the first year of my post-secondary education, highly regret that. My husband did at the same school and he had a way better time, made a lot more friends. So I would totally suggest it, even if it is just for your first year. And like Hope said, it is really a hop, skip, and a jump, and it's under 100 steps away. So really quite convenient.
The last question is there a cafeteria on campus? Yes, there is. However, because of COVID, it is not open.
But once the campus does open, the CAF is great. And another unique thing about Northern is we don't have mandatory food plans. So whether you choose to opt in or opt out, it's completely up to you, and we don't force you to do that. And like Leanne said, the res is awesome. You have a fully equipped, gorgeous kitchen with a really nice island, some stools. You can really cook your own food. So completely up to you.
And I'd like to add in that if you're not in the mood to cook, I think it's probably healthier to cook, but if you're not in the mood, we have a couple of restaurants that are only 2 or 3 blocks away from the residents. And some of us feel that the best fries in Northern Ontario can be found up here in Haileybury, if you're a fry person. If you're a healthy person, well, I'm sure there's healthy food there too.
Please send me the details about these fries because I would like to try.
Absolutely. Next time you're on campus, I'll show you where
Definitely.
they are. Well kept secrets, folks.
Okay, Hope, I don't think there's any more questions. Perfect.
No other questions. I've just provided more information about residents for those individuals.
Thank you. Okay, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much, everyone, for this evening. I thought it was a success. I hope that you thought so too. I think, yeah, a lot of information was shared tonight, and I hope you feel a little bit better and more knowledgeable. And we thank you so much. Thank you, Hope. Fantastic co-host, going through all those questions. We've never been bombarded with that many, so awesome job. Wonderful. Again, I want to mention a virtual open house. Be there, be square. You can also book virtual appointments with us recruiters if you do want to follow up, and then we can connect you with the proper people. As well, we do virtual campus tours. So connect to one of us recruiters who will connect you with Kelly, and you can get a wonderful virtual campus tour of the Haileybury facilities. And as well, we are going to be having another webinar. Hope, if you wanted to just unmute yourself and let us know what our next webinar is, that would be great.
Let me check. So next week on the 30th, it is all about our health sciences and emergency service programs. I'm going to be hosting it. So if you know anyone that's interested, go to our website and sign right up.
Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic evening and sleep well. Be safe. Take care.